Hello, my name is not Markiplier. Sorry, can't be that good. Anyway, first off, this contains major spoilers for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 via conjecture, analysis, and facts. So if you can't take spoilers, there's your go back button up there somewhere. I'm not sure my thing's mirrored or not. So one of these directions up here, you got go back button, or you can hit your go back button on your keyboard. Now, that being said, if you don't mind the spoilers, don't mind the potential plot revealing, so on and so forth, stick around. We'll start off with why I would say Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is not a sequel, but in fact a prequel. We can start off first with the paycheck. You receive your paycheck at night 5, and the date on the check is 11/12/1987. Back in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, they talked of the bite of 87. That being said, if 2 is a sequel, why are they referring to the event that year as the event of 87? No one does that at all, really. You talk to a war vet, they'll talk about, the battle of, they don't even call it, the Battle of 42, Battle of 43, Battle of 41, whatever. Back then, even close to that event, the few years of it, they would still call it, the Battle of such and such place. No one really does that for things that are, close proximity time-wise. Especially if it's that year. They'll talk about as the battle of, or the event of such and such year, much later on down the road. So, we can base off the check that, in fact, that 2 is a sequel. A prequel, excuse me, yeah, prequel. Hey, there I go, trying to confuse my own self. Yay! But some people are also arguing about the animatronics. If you listen to the phone guy, as we call him, in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I forget which night it was, so do forgive me. He says that they need to get a hold of the original owner of the restaurant, which was called, I believe it was like Fazbear's Family Diner or something like that. We can logically presume that these animatronics and whatnot are from Fazbear's Family Diner, the original restaurant. You gotta have a Freddy Fazbear from somewhere. So that will be the original one right there. That's why they're still in a disrepaired state, because the original restaurant did shut down for whatever reason. They have not let us know what those reasons are, though we can guess. And thus they had time to repair them, or the money to. Now that leads into a few other things. Now this is going more into the speculation side now. But they did say at the beginning of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 that they spent all this money, like a small fortune, to quote the guy, on these new animatronics. Well, that would explain why they can't afford to keep the power on in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. If that is the time point after Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Because they spent all the money on, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, as they're officially called, or as most people call them, Bonnie 2.0, Chica 2.0, etc., so forth. They spent all that money on those new animatronics, and now they can barely afford to keep the doors open, or pay the power bill. Now with that, there's also the fact of the animatronics, and how the whole thing with the bite happened. This is where things get a little interesting. Five Nights at Freddy's 1, they referred to whoever did it, as using a Freddy Fazbear suit. Night 6 phone call, you're probably playing as a different security guard, and it would seem the security guard you're playing as from nights 1 through 5 was the killer, because he got transferred to day shift. They said that someone used a yellow costume, one of the yellow suits, to do something. They didn't say what, but your mind can easily fill in the blank. That's where it gets really interesting, in my opinion. So, Freddy Fazbear suit, that's yellow. Golden Freddy. Yeah, didn't take hard to figure that one out, but why I say it's interesting is because people have been wondering, since Five Nights at Freddy's 1, why is he in the position he's in when he appears in the office? Why does he appear so dead and mangled, almost, in his position, like he's, been killed or something? The phone guy in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 never said, and you can go back to listen to it, never said that it was a child bitten in Five Nights at Freddy's with the bite of 87. So if it was a child bitten, it could be an adult. Now, I said that it's likely the first security guard you play as in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is the killer based on those facts. Here's the thing. I think we can delve a little deeper into it. Why would the animatronics be attacking like that in the first night and whatnot? Especially if you haven't done anything yet. Well, they mentioned they have a facial recognition system linked to a criminal database. Now, I'm not sure why Scott would even include that, a detail like that, other than wasting time, which you don't want to do on the phone call, because you want to be able to keep track of the animatronics and keep your mind dedicated to it and whatnot. So why even waste time with that? In my opinion, it is a hint towards the fact that the character you're playing as is wanted for crimes against children, so on and so forth. Be it a sexual predator or a child abuser, so on and such. Now, with that being the case, that'll explain why the animatronics are after you at night. And when he gets transferred to the day shift, he doesn't have the Freddy Fazbear head to hide in. So he's got no protection from the animatronics, which will recognize him linked with a database. Thus, why they will have attacked him, and thus causing the bite of A7. Now, how does that link into the fact of Golden Freddy's position? Well, if you recall the phone call from Five Nights at Freddy's 1, it said the phone guy said that it's amazing how the human body can survive without the frontal lobe. You look at anything anatomy-wise and along the medical fields and whatnot, you'll find that if you were to survive without your brain's frontal lobe, you'd be a vegetable. You wouldn't be able to move. You couldn't do anything. Just maybe breathe. Maybe bodily functions. That's it at the most. You'd more likely have a feeding tube, so on and so forth. So with that being the case, if it was the guard that was killed in the bite, or not killed, attacked in the bite of A7 that killed the kids, he'd be completely paralyzed. Couldn't do anything. And that would result in the posture that Golden Freddy has, since he used the Golden Freddy suit to commit the crimes. There's also the fact that leads to this as well, that he was the one as well, because this is, I admit, a bit of a stretch, but it's interesting food for thought, in my opinion. That if you look at the newspaper clippings you'll see in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, plastered throughout the walls and whatnot, you'll notice that, they say they found the guy, basically, who did it, but he was never charged or convicted. Well, if you're a vegetable, you can't speak in your own defense. You can't even communicate with a lawyer to speak in your defense. And it is actually not legal in any way, shape, or form, or ethical for that matter, to be able to charge someone or convict someone of something that they can't even defend themselves against. That's the whole part of the whole fair trial thing, that if you have a God-given right, pretty much, to defend yourself in a trial. And if you can't defend yourself in a trial and can't have anyone defend you in a trial, then you can't be convicted or tried in the first place. So they never mentioned anything about him being tried and convicted or even charged. So that would tell them that they couldn't do that. I'll tell you they couldn't do that, because if anyone reads newspapers, they love going, so-and-so was charged with this today, for whatever reason it was. So there you go. Now all that comes back to the fact of the animatronics, though. With that being the case, we can look at the mini-game, the Give Gifts, Give Life mini-game, which is interesting. I'm not going to delve into whether it's kids' bodies or endoskeletons that the puppet marionette, or as Markiplier calls it, the baby, is putting the heads on and whatnot. But it does lead to an interesting thought. Even if it was the endoskeletons, Scott has said that the animatronics are haunted in some way. Would it be possible that the marionette, puppet, whatever, is tethering the souls of the children that were killed to those animatronics, essentially giving them life? Interesting food for thought, in my opinion. But now we're starting to branch off into really, speculative regions and whatnot. Hope you guys like this. I know it's kind of short and whatnot, only about 10 minutes, but that's why I got on this so far, and I'm tired as hell right now, so I might do a video on this later on, like some more theories and keep my head on straight. If you like this, let me know, and I'll do more of these. In fact, if you like them, suggest stuff to me and on Theories Research and whatnot, with both, not just this game, both other games as well. I'm not Markiplier, and we'll see you here later.